Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming to you today with an X-Wing video trying to find new ways to make Palpatine worthwhile again. A lot of people say that he is still usable and that he can still electrocute Luke Skywalker, but that he's just harder to use now. So I wanted to take a look and see if I can find another way to use him. So I have him here on the Omicron Group pilot. That is, you know, a place where we've seen him all the time. And I was trying to come up with ways that, you know, the problem now is you have to, before you roll dice, you have to say what your result is going to be. And so I'm like, well, where can we get the biggest bang for our buck? A lot of people say defense is still the way to go. But I thought, well, where's a crit going to be maximized the most that I might not need it for defense? So I thought about Merrick Steel, and specifically the newer Merrick Steel, because this guy doesn't guarantee the crit. The advanced Merrick Steel can already guarantee at least one of the crits, but the new Merrick Steel does not guarantee the crit. So naturally I'll put TIAC 7 on Merrick Steel here, and now we've got some options, right? Now I can use Palpatine for Merrick Steel to guarantee the crit, but to help him stay alive a little bit more, let's go with, I'm going to go with Juke. I'm going to try to keep the... You know, I don't now. There's plenty of different EPTs you could go with here, and I'm just going with Juke because it kind of ties into some other things that I was looking at, and I'm gonna get to it. But I thought I'll go with 2 defenders, each with Juke and Ryad, and the idea here is they're getting the free evade, and so Juke kind of has synergy with that. And if I add all of this up, I'm at 29 for Palpatine plus 35 and 34. And that leaves me at 98. So I have a little bit I can put, maybe a system upgrade on the, you know, get some extra target locks over here, or maybe change out Juke for something a little more, you know, maybe Predator on each one, or maybe even, you know, if I wanted to use him for defense, I could even swap those out and put like stealth device on each one or something like that. But this was one idea of being able to make that guaranteed result count for more, because if it's a crit, it's more likely to get through. That's kind of the thought behind there. Another thing I could do is I could swap Juke out for Countess Ryad here, and swap Juke out for Veteran Instincts, make Countess Ryad be able to the same pilot skill as Merrick Steel. This way I can make her shoot first, and then hopefully focus tokens and everything are spent. Merrick Steel's more likely to get damage through in that case. So there's all kinds of different ways to do this, but I didn't like this enough because I didn't think that this was enough of a choice. So, but Juke did get me thinking. Juke got me thinking about evade tokens, and while this is certainly an option, I wanted to see if I could use Swarm Leader. Swarm Leader is a cool card, and I wanted to try to see. Now, the only way to get Palpatine on a card with Swarm Leader, I mean, and you don't have to put Palpatine on there, is to put him on the Kylo Ren Upsilon shuttle. So we got 45 points here now that we've got Kylo Ren, Palpatine, and Swarm Leader. And so the way to, you know, the first way I thought of using Juke with these is for regular TIE Fighters. And so I wanted to go with TIE Fighters. The problem with TIE Fighters is they only have 2 attack each. So I thought of, well, there's some TIE Fighters that can get more than 2 attack. And so I thought about Mauler, Mythil, and Scourge, each running Juke. Now, the idea here is that I don't mind if Palpatine has to be used for defense on these guys, even if I end up rolling a pretty good defensive roll. Because the idea here is now I get to save my evade. You know, if you were to roll, for example, let's say I had the evade and you rolled 2 criticals against Mauler Mythil, and I roll my dice and I've only got 1 evade result. Well, I would normally be able to survive that because I could just simply spend my evade token. But now, if I say, you know, if I trigger Palpatine and say I'm going to get the extra evade, and it turns out I didn't need it, I don't mind because I get to save the evade token, which will translate into, for 1, it'll help me attack, and then for 2, since Kylo Ren is attacking last, I'll get double duty for that evade token. So I really don't mind. You see, because it'll help him modify his defender's dice, and then I can spend the evade token when Kylo Ren is attacking to roll additional dice with Swarm Leader. And the idea here is that I would want to probably target lock her, you know, as early as possible. And I think that would work. I think that would be a pretty fantastic option, as a matter of fact. And if I'm feeling lucky, and maybe I am able to outmaneuver the opponent, and I don't even have any shots on the TIE fighters, they evade anyway, and then I use Palpatine for attack, and then hopefully I'm able to roll 6 attack dice, and I'm guaranteed to roll at least 1 blank there, so that's fine. And this isn't even 100 points. I can fit 1 more ship in here, so I'll put a Black Squadron TIE fighter in there also. He's if I give him juke also, that would bring me exactly up to 100 points, and that would work. So that's an option. Now he's lower pilot skill, so I wouldn't get the double duty on him, or I wouldn't. But there's a couple of ways that to figure that out. But I've figured let me try something else. Although I do like this option, I think I want ships with better attack. See, the problem with Mauler, Mythil, and Scourge is they can conditionally get a 3rd attack die or a 4th at range 1. But I'd rather go with somebody who's going to guarantee it. So let's say we go with Royal Guard ties instead. Now with Royal Guard ties, they're always going to have the 3 attack. The problem is that this fills up, this puts me pretty close to 100 points. I'd have enough to give maybe stealth device to each of those, and then I'd be about spent. So I would have to, have less ships. Everybody is at the same pilot skill, however, and that has its advantages, because if I need somebody to move first or I need somebody else to attack first, I have a lot more options here. But I really like the idea of the ships being able to keep their evade tokens, fire with juke, and then have juke gets consumed by Swarm Leader. This is the general idea, so it doesn't have to be, my list isn't specifically this list, it could be this, or the TIE Fighter version. You get an extra ship that way, but you sacrifice a little bit of firepower. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is a way to make Palpatine work again? Or have you found a better way to make Palpatine work again? I'm going to probably fly this here very soon, and I think this would be a really fun list. Obviously, one of the biggest weaknesses of this list, I think, is that your highest pilot skill is 6 this way. If I went with the TIE Fighter version, I'd have a 7 for Mauler Mythil. But, pilot skill is certainly a problem. But I think we made up for it with the extra ways to mitigate our ships and being able to use Palpatine to save a life, and we also have the evade tokens if we need to save a life as well. We're struggling because we wouldn't have a focus, and these guys are never going to have target lock. But I think we're going to be getting this really big shot, and as long as we line up this shuttle and we don't find ourselves in a position where this guy can't shoot, then we should be fine. That's what I think. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, and if you would make any tweaks to any of these lists. I also want to give a congratulations to I Am a Cabbage, the winner of the Rogue One giveaway. You just won a $20 Amazon gift card, so please contact me on my YouTube channel, and I'll get your contact information from you, and we'll get that squared away. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully we can make Palpatine great again. And thank you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and like this video and leave a comment. And hopefully Luke will fall. Let's see. There you go. He fell on his back. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.